opening it had, a gala opening.
Yeah. Okay, I'm putting the video off. Jai Baba.
Right. Still time. Avatar Meher Baba ki jai. Nothing is real but God. Nothing matters but love for God. God is the only reality. All else that seems real is illusory. God and I are one. Meher Baba. Avatar Meher Baba ki jai. Thank you, beloved Baba, and Jai Baba to all of you. We are reading Conversations with the Awakener, flowing conversations with the Awakener. It's behind the tragedy.
We did this.
Did you?
Yes.
Did we?
Yes.
Oh, then I'm mistaken. Sorry. Move on. Everything is a gift. Okay, everything is a gift. Sorry, my mistake.
My old school chums and I were together on a special summer outing, a class reunion of sorts. During and after lunch, we shared many stories and funny anecdotes from our lives since we had been in school together. It was a delightful gathering and I really enjoyed myself. When I returned home, I felt happy, but soon something began to bother me. Many of my friends were leading successful lives and had made brilliant advances in their careers. It occurred to me, what special thing have I accomplished in my life? I have been leading a very simple and ordinary life, and I have not contributed anything outstanding to society. I felt disappointed with myself. I knew I should be proud of and happy for my former schoolmates, but I couldn't shake my feeling of failure when I compared myself to them. For the rest of the day, I felt depressed and worthless. But when this mood reached a somber crescendo, the curtain parted and I felt a loving presence fill the room. The next moment I saw you, your eyes glowing like splendid stars. Are you in need of my help? You asked with a look of concern. Yes, of course. You always know when I need you, and now I'm feeling troubled that I have made no special contributions to society as my friends have. Do you really want a place of respect in society? Well, I'm confused about that. Why do you compare the qualities you happen to have with those of others? With the proper perspective, you will see that your qualities enrich your life in bringing you closer to me. How is that? I asked. I'll tell you a story that will help you understand. One day, after drinking water, an antelope was standing on a rock, looking at the reflection of his face in the water. He was so charmed looking at his antlers that he thought that no one else in the world could have such beautiful antlers as his. He felt very, very proud. Then he happened to look down at his hooves, which appeared to him so ugly that he even thought of blaming God for having so little discrimination as to give him such hooves. Just then he heard from a distance the galloping of a horse carrying a hunter. Overcome by fear, the antelope jumped down from the rock and started running. The hunter followed him on the horse, but the antelope ran faster. After going some distance, coming into a forested area, the antelope got his antlers caught in the branches of a tree, and this turned his head around. He was now facing the hunter, seeing him draw closer with his bow and arrow drawn. As the antelope disentangled himself and ran away, he had the realization what got me in this dangerous situation were my antlers, which I had admired And what saved me from it? My whoops, which I despised. So he begged God's pardon for doubting his judgment. The beautiful antlers and the ugly hooves both played their parts to make the life of the antelope full. Be thankful to me for whatever form you have and begin to realize that whatever your inherent qualities, they hold their own significance and purpose in your onward journey to me. Instead of bewailing your fortune, invoke me to reveal in your own heart my wisdom in giving you your particular form and attributes.
Is it four? Okay. Let me proceed. All right. Here, the sum and substance of this chapter is that we are all differently endowed. Baba has given us different gifts, and we waste that, or we do not capitalize on that, harness that by comparing ourselves with others. When we compare ourselves with others, we tend to, what should I say, to manifest what is known as the lower self within us. Low self-esteem, low self-love. I am no good. I am worthless. What have I achieved in life? My peers or the school companions, the college boys, and the girls with whom we were loitering about, they have reached such heights, and where am I? I am not so good, etc., etc. So that is the whole sum and substance of it. Baba saying that each one is endowed with a gift. And when we enthrone Baba in our being, then with his remembrance, that gift will open up, that gift will be revealed, and we are all expected to capitalize on that gift, not just for our own selfish benefit, but for the benefit of others. That is how I would read this chapter. So let me read again, a little quickly though. My old school chums and I were together on a special summer outing, a class reunion of sorts. During and after lunch, we shared many stories and funny anecdotes from our lives since we had been in school together. It was a delightful gathering and I really enjoyed myself. What is it called when you meet together that you had gone on your Khalsa college? What's it called? It has a name. So we meet together after so many years and we exchange notes. Oh, you got married, you got so many children, you got so many wives. Obviously, if you have many wives, you have got many mother-in-laws, and all that. So when this circulates, you tend mostly to feel yourself a little lower than the other. when I re- huh? No. When I returned home, I felt happy, but soon something began to bother me. Many of my friends were leading inverted commas successful life and had made brilliant advances in their careers. Now, to define the word success is a very, very difficult word. Basically, although I don't need to, I would say success is something which makes you happy, whatever you are doing. And you don't do it because you have to do it, but you are doing it because you love to do it. You like doing it. This is my interpretation. So people make a lot of money. People, good salary, good house, good bungalows, good this, good that, cars, everything. But that may or may not be success from the real standpoint. We have seen so many people who die so young. Why? Because they were running after success, neglecting everything else. So basically, it's a sense of contentment, it's a sense of joy, it's a sense of accomplishment. You feel accomplished that, oh, I feel nice. I may not have made much money. I may not be having many houses or fancy cars, but I feel satisfied within myself. I feel content within myself. I feel that I am what I'm supposed to be. That way. Okay. What special thing have I accomplished in my life? I have been leading a very simple and ordinary life, and I have not contributed anything outstanding to society. Many of us are in that mold. What am I doing to contribute something to others or to the society? Personally, the very focus is, if you are focusing on contributing something to the society, it's my take is that you are thinking about lack. All that we need to do is to be established in our own being as a very contented human being, and then automatically everything follows. Like I am reminded of a story where once Bauji was reading the what Baba calls bogus news, the newspaper to Baba. There was some heading that somebody contributed huge amounts in some flood relief or something like that. And at that time, Bauji, a thought passed in Bauji's mind, what are we doing here? We are just wasting our life, wasting our time, nothing. What am I contributing to the universe, to the society, to other people? And that is where Baba corrected him. Of course, the usual Baba says, what are you thinking? And he said, nothing, Baba. And then ultimately he says that, Baba, I feel I'm wasting my life here. Then that is where Baba had said, that serving, being, serving, wait a second, let me get back the exact, serving the one who serves the universe is serving the universe. Because he was serving the one, Meher Baba, who was serving the entire universe. And so serving the one who serves the universe is serving the universe. Words to the effect. All right. What special thing have I done? All right. I felt disappointed with myself. I knew I should be proud of and happy for my former schoolmates because they have achieved. I should be happy in their own happiness. But I couldn't shake my feeling of failure when I compared myself to them. See, the problem with dissatisfaction, the problem with unhappiness is comparison. There's a nice saying in English which says, that I am not unhappy because I don't have it, but I am unhappy because somebody else has it. So the moment you compare somebody else is having, but I am not having, then the dissatisfaction, the sadness, the depression, whatever comes in. As long as we contain ourselves within ourselves, then there is no unhappiness or sadness. But when we compare ourselves with others, that is where the sadness comes in. For the rest of the day, I felt depressed and worthless. Everybody has got immense worth. The moment we consider ourselves worthless, Baba calls it that you are propagating or you are manifesting your lower self. Baba does not want us to exhibit our lower self. Baba wants us to exhibit our higher self. Instead of thinking I am no good, try to find out what is your innate, inherent capacity, capability, acumen, and then manifest on that. But when this mood reached a somber crescendo, somber would mean gloomy, sad, dark, gray, like that. And crescendo would be the apex, when it reached its height. The curtain parted, and I felt a loving presence fill my room, fill the room. The next moment I saw you, your eyes glowing like splendid stars. Are you in need of my help? You asked with a look of concern. Yes, of course. You always know that I need you. And now I'm feeling troubled that I have made no special contributions to society as my friends have. Here there is this particular ego that I want to contribute something to somebody's life. That I is there, that ego is there. Even elsewhere, Baba has said in the discourses, do not be possessed with the desire to help others. Do not be possessed. If you can help in a very surge, natural way, just help and forget about it. But don't be possessed by that desire that I should help somebody, I must help somebody, I must do something for somebody, because that too is a manifestation of ego, and that too is binding. Do you really want a place of respect in society? Well, I'm confused about that. So Baba has really touched the core of the heart. You are not wanting to help somebody out of your selflessness or generosity. You want to help somebody because you want a place of respect in the society. Well, I'm confused about it. Why do you compare the qualities you happen to have with those of others? Why do you want to compare this? With the proper perspective, you will see that your qualities enrich your life in bringing you closer to me. A very important sentence. Whosoever we may be, whatsoever we may be, the one priceless gift and blessing that we have is that we have come in contact with none other than God in human form, the highest of the high, the avatar of the age. Is that a small blessing? Is that a small thing to happen? Not all who are the CEOs and who are high up some everywhere, they get the opportunity to know at a personal level that the avatar has come on and walked the earth, which we are so fortunate. So Baba says here, uh, with proper perspective, you will see that your qualities enrich your life in bringing you closer to me. How is that? I asked. And then Baba gives a story. And the story is of an antelope. Is it? Yeah, yeah. The story, we have seen this, we have heard this story before also. And Baba tries to bring home a point. The antelope was very proud of uh, the antlers, the horns, the antlers, very fancy and very proud, very happy. But when the antelope looked at the hoofs, they looked extremely ugly. And the antelope was even thinking, what sort of creator? The creator had no basic common sense that while I'm so beautiful up here, why is it that I'm so ugly down here? And then Baba goes on to say that there was some hunter, and hunter was chasing, and the antelope ran and sort of concealed itself into a jungle. But the antlers were all entangled in the trees, and that is where she realized the he antelope realized that it is the hooves that had saved me. And when the hunter is moving closer, it is the hooves which have saved the antler. So what Baba is trying to convey is that a combination of this so-called beauty and so-called ugliness is there in the domain of duality, and both are equally important in life. I am reminded of a story where Baba's niece, Shirin. Shirin is Dara Irani. You all know Amrit and Dara. Dara's sister, Shirin. She was a young girl of 10, 11 years, and she would visit Baba often whenever she used to come here from London. And once she asked Baba, she said, Baba, you say you're God. You are so beautiful. You are so bright, brilliant. You are so intelligent, wise, etc., etc. But why is it that because you are a creator, why is it that you created all the dirty things like a cockroach and snakes and scorpions and stuff like that? Why did you create all these things? They are so dirty. They are so harmful. They are so ugly and all that stuff. And Baba gave a very splendid reply, words to the effect again, saying that Shirin, you are so beautiful. Just see your face, so bright, so beautiful. But do you go for potty every day? In the morning or whatever, you go for potty. And when you go for potty, what do you bring out? You bring out the shit, the dirty, the chi, you bring it out. And it is the very aspect of that, bringing out, that keeps you healthy and beautiful. So in other words, in a childlike manner, Baba explained that both these things are important in life. The so-called beauty and the so-called chi or dirty or ugliness or whatever. That is what.
Although I was awakened to a new understanding, I was still unsure about my own situation. Hearing you tell the story with your deep concern for me, I was inspired to speak freely. It is because of the intimacy I feel with you that I dare to ask if you are saying these words simply to appease my mind. I said. I immediately felt sorry and expected your eyes to flash with disapproval, but instead you answered me tenderly. Is the sky ever afraid of how high a mountain may rise? Similarly, why would I get upset by your doubts, however high they may soar? Don't suppress them. Be honest. Let them be aired in my all forgiving presence. Likewise, do not get scared by unwanted thoughts unexpectedly assailing you. Drown them all in the ocean of my compassion. Remember, when I forgive, it is total, and then a feeling of greater trust in me will be awakened in you. I felt ashamed that I had questioned why you told me the story. I hadn't expected this of myself to say such things to you, whom I strive to please. What kind of worthless fellow am I? I asked. Once you come to me, there is no question of being worthless. I will not let you go astray, though in the eyes of the world, you may be considered a failure. As time passes by, with this understanding, you will feel my help more and more. Know well that whatever you suffer, I do suffer in you. I saw a look of pain in your eyes as you said this, and I was awed by your love for me. You continued, try to make your heart receptive to the greater trust I wish to repose in you. Then, gradually, you will develop the attitude and perspective of accepting what happens to you as my wish. This attitude will also help you to see the brilliant, luminous canvas that is always around you. What's this, a canvas? Yes, let me tell you another story about how our limited perspectives influence the way we see the world. In a certain forest, there was a little house where an illumined teacher leading a simple life held classes. Sometimes he would bring home the basic truths of life through figures or symbolic stories to those who would gather there. One day he hung on the wall a roll of white canvas on which he had painted a small black dot. As he unrolled the canvas, he asked the group, what do you see? All in chorus, they answered, a black dot. The teacher shook his head. No, you're wrong. Astounded, they asked, how is that, dear master? Looking at all, the teacher responded with a question. Don't you see the bright white canvas surrounding the tiny black dot? Yes, they all said. And then he explained, in the world, there are so many lovely and positive things around us. But instead of appreciating these good qualities and happenings, we concentrate on the little troubles and difficulties that we have to go through. When we focus on ourselves and our own suffering, we become oblivious to the little joys and delights that are smiling at us. If only we could develop loving gratitude for the many beautiful things around us instead of dwelling on the black spot.
Perfect. So here, Baba was trying to pep him up by saying that do not consider yourself as worthless. And the author feels that Baba is just, what should I say, uh, humoring him. Although I was awakened to a new understanding, I was still unsure about my own situation. That doubts, doubting Thomas, we say, Thomas, we say, that in spite of Baba pepping us all up, that you are important, you are special, you are unique, you belong to me, you don't have to go by the worldly standards. All you need to do is become mine and just love me and remember me all the time. In spite of making it so simple for us all, we tend to be, we tend to slip into the worldly ways of thinking and the worldly ways of comparing ourselves with others, and of course the worldly ways of worrying and getting stressed and getting tension and getting depressed. So here he said, I was still unsure whether you really meant what you said or you are just trying to humor me. Hearing you tell this story with your deep concern for me, I was inspired to speak freely. It is because of the intimacy I feel with you that I dared to ask you if you are saying these words simply to appease my mind, simply just appeasing my mind, just to make my mind feel comfortable about it. I said, I immediately felt sorry and expected your eyes to flash with disapproval, but instead you answered me tenderly. In spite of we trying to, in a sense, irritate Baba, trigger Baba, Baba is constant, always enduring, always loving, always kind, always forgiving, always uplifting, never condemning. Then Baba gives an example. Is the sky ever afraid of how high the mountain may rise? Is the sky ever afraid? No. Similarly, why would I get upset by your doubts, however high they may soar? Don't suppress them. And Baba always uh, advocated or encouraged naturalness. Be natural with me. Whatever you feel, just do it. Don't suppress them. Be honest. Let them be aired in my all forgiving presence. Mani had once explained, that Baba, when he says, I forgive you, there is so much of, overwhelming feeling of forgiveness. It is something like the ocean waves which come on the shore, and when it goes back, it takes all the kachra with it in the ocean, all the garbage. Not the slightest vestige of garbage is left on the shore. When the high tide comes in, it is just washed inside and absorbed inside the ocean. In the same way, when Baba says, I forgive you, then it is totally forgiven. If at all we feel that we are not forgiven, it is because of our own lack of trust in His forgiveness, our own unsureness as to whether, because we continue to delve into what we call as the lower self. Be honest, let them be aired in my all forgiving presence. Likewise, do not get scared by unwanted thoughts unexpectedly assailing you. Baba had time and time and time and time again said, do not be upset with thoughts. Thoughts are not in your domain. Actions you can control. Thoughts you cannot control. Just be a witness to your thoughts. Think that these thoughts come from me, but I am not my thoughts. My thoughts are totally different. Thoughts will come, thoughts will go. Be a witness. Just watch them come and go. Don't suppress them. Don't fight them. Just allow them to come and go. And keep repeating Baba's name. Baba says in that case, the thoughts will eventually weaken out, and then it won't have any impact or any effect on you. Drown them all in the ocean of my compassion. Remember, when I forgive, It is total. That's what we said. And then a feeling of great trust in me will be awakened in you. I felt ashamed that I had questioned why you told me the story. I hadn't expected this from myself, but it blurts out. Sometimes the thought comes and you feel sorry about it later on. To say such things to you, whom I strive to please. What kind of worthless fellow am I? I asked. Again, the author, all through the books, coming across as a weakling, coming across as having so many shortcomings, attachments, weaknesses, desires, cravings, doubts, and all that. So your worthlessness, he's exhibiting how worthless I am. So Baba says, and very important for all of us, once you come to me, there is no question of being worthless. I will not let you go astray, though in the eyes of the world, you may be considered a failure. According to the worldly standards, you may be considered as a failure. But once you have come to me, and coming to me in my understanding would mean not superfluously, but genuinely trusting in me, genuinely surrendering to him. That's the meaning of coming to me. As time passes by, with this understanding, you will feel my help more and more. Know well that whenever you suffer, I too suffer in you. That is what we had done earlier, that Baba has a universal body and a universal mind, and therefore every little suffering that we undergo, he is also suffering. In short, we are contributing to his suffering. Conversely, every joy, every happiness, every pleasure that we enjoy, we are contributing to his enjoyment, to his joy, to his bliss. So, in a way, the easiest way to please Baba is to be pleased ourselves, because he has a universal body and a universal mind. I saw a look of pain in your eyes as you said this. Why the pain? Because you are suffering. You are considering yourself worthless. You are going through stress and tension and depression. So obviously, because I am in you, I have to go through all this as well. In your eyes, as you said this, and I was awed by your love for me. Did you read this? No? You continue.
You continued, try to make your heart receptive to the greater trust I wish to repose in you. Then gradually, you will develop the attitude and perspective of accepting what happens to you as my wish.
I think you read this. Okay. So, in other words, if we are so totally surrendered to Baba, totally dedicated to Baba, totally resigned to Baba, resigned, as I said, in terms of not actions, actions we are supposed to take, but the results of the actions. I would look at it that way. Then by and by, we realize that everything is happening by Baba's wish. And that even though it may not tally with our wish, I want to have success in a certain field of activity, but somehow Baba has a different plan, because he has the whole MRI of our samskars, with him. So he knows, no, if you pursue this line of, and Baba has said this to so many people. Some people say, what will you want to become when you grow up, Baba? The person would say, I want to become like this person. Instead of that, you pursue this line. And they would do it, because Baba knows that if you pursue this particular trend of desire, it may not be worthwhile. Let me tell you another story. This is the story which I think we all know, that most of us generally, usually, repeatedly only focus on what is negative, on what is lacking, on what is the shortcoming. We do not see the whole picture, we do not see the whole canvas. Something like somebody had said, I heard it long years back, that we have got supposedly 32 teeth in our mouth, and if one tooth or a molar or whatever has been extracted, or if it has fallen down, The tongue will always go to that tooth only and keep on, oh, one tooth is less, one tooth is less. But you got 31 more, why don't you make use of that? So in other words, we are habituated to focusing on what we do not have or what we call as something negative, which Baba is trying to explain that have the attitude of gratitude. Focus on the gifts and the blessings which we are all endowed with. Life is a mixture of so-called good and so-called bad. So when you focus more and more on the good, only good will happen. But if you are focusing only on what you do not have, the black spot in this particular story, the black spot, the black spot must be 1,000th part of that entire canvas, just a spot. But the focus went on the black spot and not the beautiful white shining canvas sheet or whatever that may be. So that is what Baba is trying to bring home to us, that in every little thing that we see, try to look at the brighter side of things. Try to be having the attitude of gratitude of what we are already blessed with. Yeah, I think the story is done.
A genuine, and when we focus on ourselves and
When we are focusing on our own shortcomings, distresses, whatever it is, we are only aggrandizing that and we are only increasing that. Many of us have got this into a habit that when we meet somebody, we only, in Gujarati we say Raro Kutlo. In other words, we only talk about how difficult our life is. You know, we only talk about the problems and difficulties and stress, and in the house there is this problem and that problem. We never talk about the brighter side of things. And when we continuously talk like that, you know, we attract those negative vibrations, feelings, and that increases. So Baba says that is what brings you distress and what we call as a depression. Can you read the whole?
when we focus on ourselves and our own suffering, we become oblivious to the little joys and delights that are smiling at us. If only we could develop loving gratitude for the many beautiful things around us instead of dwelling on the black dot.
So we are supposed to have an attitude of gratitude. So many beautiful things are there. I've got two hands, working legs, two eyes. I can speak, I can hear, I can smell. But no, if something little goes wrong, I would focus only on that. So Baba is telling us, don't focus on that, but focus on the brighter side of things.
A genuine teacher, no, you ask with a smile. That is a wonderful lesson to learn, I responded, to see the glass half full instead of half empty. Yes, and one day I will fill your cup to overflowing, you assured me. When? I eagerly inquired. Don't ask, you said, affectionately looking at me. That very moment, I felt you were already pouring love into me. What a wonderful feeling.
What a wonderful statement from the Lord Himself, that one day I'm going to fill your heart, which will overflow. You know, and when the author asks when, you know, the when means there is an aspect of doubt, there is an aspect of lack, there is an aspect of desire. I am eager, that kind of, you know, impatience. But when we are with Baba, then all we need to do is completely surrender to His timing, to His whatever He wants to give us as a gift.
Remember, you are mine. If you look to the world, there is no end to what you could or would do. If you lean only on me, you will achieve everything in your own time without envying what others have accomplished. By serving and living for me, you are serving the whole world. It is like a rose that blossoms in the garden and naturally exudes a beautiful fragrance for all other living things around. Just like the rose, by living your life basking in my sunshine, my fragrance will be delightfully enjoyed by others through you. Tears of love and relief gathered in my eyes. You offered me a lovely fresh maroon rose that you took from the pocket of your gown. You gazed deep into my eyes and then departed. I held the rose in my hand, and it seemed as though you had not gone but had merged into it. Looking at that charming flower, I felt that the occasions of your appearing in forms before me were only a humorous ruse to unveil to me the real nature of your formless, timeless existence. As I inhaled the fragrance, I was drowned in your presence. The perfume wafted away the thoughts and feelings that I had harbored about needing to achieve something special in the world. A moment later, the thought occurred to me: having a relationship with you is what really matters. I should look at the canvas of your presence around me instead of concentrating on the black dot of my ordinariness or what I have not achieved. All that I need in my life, you have already given me and continue to give me. I should accept my life as your gift and be satisfied with whatever I am. Even my so called ugly hooves are really helping me, for they are what I need in my journey to you. The joy of your visit inspired in me a new resolve to wholeheartedly accept the way I live in the world as your wish. Relaxing in the presence of your love, I felt my resistance melting like ice in warm water. Every moment you offer me a precious new gift, and every gift from you ushers in a renewing moment.
From there. This canvas story we saw, a genuine teacher, no, you ask with a smile. Baba is asking, see, I'm a genuine teacher. I'm teaching you so many secrets. I'm giving you so many truths through simple storytelling. And how beautifully Baba explains that it really touches our heart and it goes deep inside and hopefully it stays forever. That's the important thing. That's a wonderful lesson to learn. The lesson to learn is always focus on the positive side of life. And remember, we are all blessed. We are all gifted in each different way, unique way. So all we need to do is to delve deep within ourselves to find out what is that gift which has been bestowed upon us by the Creator. And once we catch hold of that gift and we tag on with that, then that is where one blooms, one blossoms, and one feels a sense of success. As I said earlier, success doesn't just mean that you make a lot of money and all that. Success would mean that you feel accomplished. You feel that what you have come for, you have achieved. You feel that I am at the right place at the right time. You don't feel that, oh, I ought to be here now or I ought to be there. That means you are present moment anchored at every point in time where you feel very comfortable about it. Coming back to the reading, that's a wonderful lesson to learn, I responded. To see the glass half full instead of half empty. That's a very common statement we say, see the half. Yes, and one day I will fill your cup to overflowing. You assured me. This is an assurance which comes from the Lord Himself that one day I will fill your cup to overflowing. I remember the story about the Kotwal family, where Savak Kotwal was one of Baba's Mandali, one of Baba's disciples, you can say. And very beautifully, Baba said, and to you, Savak, I will give you the ocean. That means I would say he would realize, or he would maybe even have mukti or realization. We do not know. So when it comes from the Lord Himself, that I will fill your cup to the brim and it will be overflowing. It's a great uh, blessing, I would say. When I eagerly inquire, don't ask, you said affectionately, looking at me. That very moment I felt you were already pouring love into me. What a wondrous feeling. The moment Baba says something, he's already started working upon that. Remember, you are mine. What a beautiful statement again. When the Lord says, you are mine. And personally, I feel we should feel, all of us should feel that we belong to Baba. And Baba alone. We don't need to run here, there, everywhere without being disrespectful to any of the Devi, Devtas, other masters, without being disrespectful. We must, in our own hearts, realize who is Meher Baba and how can we ever compare him with other masters, howsoever great they may be. They may be even a perfect master, that's the highest. But even the perfect masters have some limitations. They are perfect, they are perfection personified. They have got infinite knowledge, infinite power, infinite bliss. So there's no up and down in infinity. But yet the limitation is that after the perfect master drops his physical form, he is not connected with creation, and therefore for any spiritual benefit, he cannot bestow any spiritual benefit to anybody. We are not going into that direction, but the avatar can. So that is a major difference between the avatar and the Sadguru or a perfect master or a Kutub. So here Baba says, remember you are mine. If you look to the world, there is no end to what you could or you would do. There are unlimited things you could do. There are unlimited things you could become. Because world is nothing but a shadow of the infinite reality, that is Baba. But once you become Babas, then everything is contained in that. You don't have to run helter-skelter. If you lean only on me, I repeat, very powerful sentence. If you lean only on me, you will achieve everything in your own time without envying what others have accomplished. Because whatever the others may have accomplished, you can think of anything that they have accomplished. It would be accomplished in the domain of illusion. Let's understand that. But if at all we remain on Babas and we lean only on him, then perhaps by his grace we may achieve something which is not in the domain of illusion, but a reality. You can call it God realization, you can call it Mukti, Moksha, salvation, liberation, whatever words that we want to use. So Baba says you will get that in your own time without being bothered about what others are achieving. We should never, in my understanding, ever be concerned with what others are achieving and what others are doing. Our job, our responsibility, our accountability is only to one, and that is Baba. That's all. By serving and living for me, you are serving the whole world. We did that before. To serve him who serves the universe is serving the universe. If we are totally becoming Babas, then that is what Baba is saying. You are serving the whole world. It is like a rose that blossoms in the garden and naturally exudes a beautiful fragrance for all other living things around. Just like the rose, by living your life basking in my sunshine, my fragrance will be delightfully enjoyed by others through you. That reminds me of this episode which I repeated many times, that our job should be like a reflecting surface. We are a reflecting surface, maybe a mirror or something. Baba is the sun. Baba is the truth. Baba is the reality. All that we need to do is to keep our reflecting surface as clean and polished as possible so that we can reflect Baba's truth, Baba's beauty, Baba's love, Baba's compassion He can do it through us. In other words, that is what Baba is trying to say, that others will be able to enjoy my fragrance through you. But we can only do it when there is no vestige of I, ego. If it is there, then it would be a refracted light, so to speak, and not a reflected light. You see, it will go all twist and turns because that I is there. The dirt is there on the reflecting surface. Tears of love and relief gathered in my eyes. You offered me a lovely, fresh maroon rose that you took from the pocket of your gown. Baba had this habit of sometimes keeping sweets in his gown, in the coat pocket. Baba would generally wear what we call as Parsi Daglo. Daglo means a coat, and Parsi Dagla it has one pocket over here and it has two pockets down below. Something like a safari, but not exactly, because it has a collar and all that. And sometimes he would carry sweets in them. And as he's walking, some children would come, and Baba would just pick up a handful and give it to them. So here Baba brought out a rose, a maroon rose, and offered it to the author Balnati. You gazed deep into my eyes and then departed. I held the rose in my hand, and it seemed as though you had not gone. The fragrance of that rose was such that Baba's fragrance was built into the rose, had not gone, but had merged into it. Looking at that charming flower, I felt that the occasions of your appearing in form before me were not only a humorous ruse, a ruse would be a ploy, a trick, a bahana, an excuse to unveil to me the real nature of your formless, timeless existence. So this is his interpretation, that your coming into form is to make me realize that in truth, in reality, you are formless and timeless. It's just an excuse to come to me whenever I feel depressed. As I inhaled the fragrance, I was drowned in your presence. The perfume wafted away the thoughts and feelings that I had harbored about needing to achieve something spiritual in the world. Here he's talking about spiritual. Even to achieve something spiritual, Baba said is a desire. Baba says it's a desire. So what is expected out of us is simply resigned to his will completely. A moment later, the thought occurred to me, having a relationship with you is what really matters. A very good sentence, a very beautiful sentence. In whatever way, whatever relationship you want to, as a lover and a beloved, as a disciple and a master, as a friend, as a head of the family, as a father figure, as whatever, as a business partner, anything, have a relationship with Baba and maintain that relationship. And then once you have that channel built, a connectivity built, then whatever he has to give or offer, whenever, in whatever proportion or quantity, he will continue to allow that flow to come from him to us. Having a relationship with you is what really matters. I should look at the canvas of your presence around me instead of concentrating on the black dot of my ordinariness or what I have not achieved. So, in other words, what he's trying to say is constantly think about him, make him your constant companion, and focus on that rather than what you have not achieved or what you would like to achieve. All that I need in my life, you have already given me and continue to give me. I should accept my life as your gift and be satisfied with whatever I am. Even my so-called ugly hooves here would mean that my not achieving a certain standard of living or my certain achievement in life as compared to my fellow friends with whom I had learned. Sorry?
Schoolmates.
Schoolmates, yeah, in schoolmates. So that is what he meant. Even my so-called ugly fools are really helping me, for they are what I need in my journey to you. In other words, they are all a combination of so-called good and so-called not so good, bad, you can call it. And it is all, in a sense, a gift from Baba, which we should accept, and in a sense, exploit in the sense, make good use of it so that we further our journey towards Him. The joy of your visit inspired in me a new resolve to wholeheartedly accept the way I live in the world as your wish. He resolves now that whatever my stature in life is, whatever I may be in life, I want to live that life as if it is a gift from you, as if it is your wish that I should live such a life. Relaxing in the presence of your love, I felt my resistance melting like ice in warm water. So whatever resistance that I had before you visited me, all those resistance melted away. Again, resistance is a very, in a sense, negative word because we resist. It is said, that when you resist, what you resist persists. It will keep persisting, whatever you are resisting. But when you give in, when you accept certain things, then it may not change. The things will not change when you accept it. But your attitude towards that thing would change or alter or transform in such a manner that you are able to handle that aspect in a more impactful, spiritually matured manner, rather than resisting and fighting with that whatever is happening. Every moment you offer me a precious new gift, and every gift from you ushers a renewed moment. So this is where we end our chapter. If there are any questions to ask, anything to share, we still have a couple of minutes. Rakesh Gupta had asked me a certain, but I was too tied up these last few days. Would you like to read that, Rakesh? Do you have it?
Jai Baba, yeah.
Do you have it on your, can you just read it out?
Do you want me to read that question about?
Yes, so because we still have about 3-4 minutes.
Okay.
We can cover that minute and Rakesh can sleep at ease. Follow.
So, I was reading up some passage, and the question that came up in my mind was that do the advanced souls on planes, do they leave, means they leave or drop the body at their will? And they do it consciously, means they are conscious of the gross plane even after, you get my point?
I got your question. First thing is, according to my reading of Meher Baba, once you are on the inner planes of consciousness, your consciousness is focused not on the gross, but on the planes you are on. It could be 1, 2, 3, which is subtle world, or 4, which is a go between the subtle and the mental, or 5 and 6, which is the mental. So you are not at all conscious. Your focus, you are living in the conscious. You are living in the gross, sorry. You are living in the gross, but your consciousness is not focused on the gross. That's number one. Number two, whether they leave their bodies consciously and at will, my answer would be I don't know. Because there are some yogis who can do that. But at what level they are able to do it, I do not know, because I have not read any such dropping of their bodies at will in Baba's literature. I have not read it. Okay, so then next question.
So when you I remember you mentioning sometime that a person on a fourth plane, they can raise the dead.
Correct.
So if they can, put the soul back in the gross body, then why can't they do it to themselves?
Yeah, what I'm saying is, the basic formula is, if you are on the gross plane, and your gross samskaras are experienced and over, there's a natural death in the gross plane. So extending that particular formula or thought further, my answer would be that if you are on a subtle plane, any of the subtle planes, and if your subtle samskaras are exhausted, utilized, spent, experienced, then you drop the body at that particular time. And so it is with the mental world, with the mental samskara. The fourth plane person is called a Mahayogi or a Kuber. And yes, he can raise the dead. He can create universes. He can create new life. But I don't, otherwise he would live forever, isn't it? I am sure there must be some mechanics where after exhausting the samskaras of those planes, the person drops the physical body and reincarnates in the physical body on that plane. But the plane will unfold itself gradually. That's what Baba has said. That means if I die, if I'm on the third plane, let's say, and I die. So when I come back again, obviously I'll come in a gross body, in the gross world. But my consciousness will be focused on the third plane over a small period of time, gradually, and I will experience not the gross world, but the third plane, and then I'll move on from there. So in other words, you pick on or you take on from where you are left in the past incarnation, and then you move on. You don't have to start again, all over again, the gross samskaras and all that, because at that time you don't have gross samskaras. They are all subtle samskaras.
Right. So what happens at a fourth plane if the person, disembodies and waits for the next
He
incarnation?
disembodies and he goes into the respective so-called heaven of that particular plane.
Okay.
And after a while, he reincarnates in the gross body, but with consciousness of the fourth plane.
So in whatever heaven that is, again, the balancing of mental sanskaras is taking place?
Yes. Okay.
Almost it's exactly the same way what happens to a gross planar in the astral plane.
Yes, I would say yes.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I think we are done with. Anybody has anything to share, ask? Okay, then thank you, Baba. Avatar Meher Baba ki Jai. Jai Baba. Thank you, Baba.
Jai Meher Baba.
Jai Baba. Jai Baba.
Meher Baba.
Thank you.